I'm going to put on the 2, which is a very thin, small tip. And I'm going to outline my stars.
Oh.
Because you want to give some nice detail. And always when you're doing lines, the best thing is to attach it, and then you're not dragging it, you're kind of pulling it and letting it drop. So I'm just kind of freehanding this along my stars. Oops, now see, sometimes they'll drop like that. Just want to take it off.
The benefits of royal icing?
Yep, just take it off and do it again. Like this. And then I'm going to give it little dots here. Make that go down.
So you could basically do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can, all kinds of creative shapes or sizes or colors.
It's open to whatever your imagination can come up with. So maybe I'll do some dots here.
That looks great.
And so what's great about this is it looks really pretty in the daytime when you don't have a candle in it. And then all this detail is going to disappear when you put the candle in it. And if you turn the lights out, you won't see that, but you'll see the beautiful glowing color of your windows. So and then I'm going to put on my little star tip. This is a 16, so I'm giving it just a little star. And I didn't get one at the end there, but it's all right because it's all just going to be kind of free-flowing. So that's what you do, and you want to let the whole thing completely dry.
How long does that usually take?
For it to completely dry, I would give it a good day at least, because it will harden, and it'll start to harden and crust over. You can already see that this is already starting to crust a little bit.
Yeah.
But in order for it to be really rock solid and get all the moisture out, I would definitely make sure and let it dry a day or two. Also, when you take your gingerbread out of the oven, I would let it sit for a day. I would trim it and let it sit. Only put it on parchment. When you're letting it sit, put it on parchment paper, not wax paper, not directly on your cookie sheet. You're cooking it on the Silpat, and then when it's completely cold, you're going to peel it off and then lay it on parchment because this glass is sticky. It's candy and it's still sticky.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to pull it off. If you lay it on wax paper, it's going to stick and you're never going to get that off of there. The stars or the whatever shape you have is going to stick. Whereas the parchment, you can peel it off. But I would let it sit on these at least a day. You can let them sit a while longer. I mean, you can do them one weekend and then build it the next weekend because you really want these hard. You don't want them to have any flex in them. And sometimes gingerbread can be a little soft, so you want to make sure that it's nice and hard and sturdy so that you have a nice sturdy wall and this isn't going to collapse on you. See?
Yep.
So.
Excellent. Now, when you, quick question, when we've all seen gingerbread contests where they have these giant castles and all that kind of stuff, so they don't really eat those. Those are all display. Those are not
always display.
Yeah, they're edible, but it's kind of like a gum paste flower. They're edible, but you don't want to edit.
You don't, exactly, because you're gonna, I mean, you could eat this. You could break this down. You could keep it the entire holiday season and then break it down and eat it. It's gonna be a really crunchy, almost like a biscotti.
Yep.
It's gonna be a really crunchy gingerbread. It's perfectly edible, and you can eat the candy inside. All it is Jolly Rancher candy.
So if someone were to have some hot chocolate and you wanted to dip it into the hot chocolate, I'm just
soften
saying.
it up a little bit.
Saying. Not that I would do such a thing.
And that's what you can do. And if you want to, you can even, I mean, the way that you would build a gingerbread house is you could top it. You can put, you could even do that for this. You could put a piece on top, as long as you've already put the candle in, and then you have a long lighter that you could put in and light it. So you could do, you could do that as long as you're attaching it, and then you're going to have it completely enclosed. You could even do a complete top, just as long as you have a small hole to put your lighter in, because it's going to, you need to have the flame needs to be able to breathe. So you need to have a couple little holes in there for it to breathe, but it doesn't have to be open like this. It can be completely enclosed.
Yeah. we're on chat right now talking to some members, and they said, scraps? What scraps?
Yeah, that was
gone.
actually, I did cut my scraps off, and
Yeah.
I went to use some of them to see if I could measure, because I was using, sometimes when you cut the top of the scrap off, you can use that piece of a scrap as a measurement, and I went to the bowl where the scraps were, and they were completely gone.
Yep, that happens.